Hi, everyone. Welcome. We are going to get started very shortly. Just want to make sure that everyone is entering the room is settled in and their audio is connected. Okay, so Abby, we can go ahead and get started. Thank you everyone for joining us here today. We have a few people still coming into the meeting, but we're going to go ahead and get started. This is Handshake How-Tos. This is our second time putting on this event since our Handshake launch last summer. Just know that this event is being recorded. The closed captions are enabled, and you will have access to the recording after the event. So my name is Maya Lloyd. I am the Student Career Program Manager for the Offices of Experiential Learning and Career Services. And with me today, I have my colleague, Abigail Goldberg, and I'll let Abby introduce herself.
Hi, everyone. I'm Abby. I'm the Special Projects Assistant with the Office of Experiential Learning and Career Services, and I'm also a student here at CUNY SPH, graduating this semester. Thank you so much for being here today. Back over to you, Maya.
Great. Thanks, Abby. So today we are going to provide a live demonstration on Handshake features. So this will include a walkthrough of a user profile, new features of the home feed. We'll also go over registering for events and best practices for your job search using Handshake. We will have a chance for Q&A at the end of the demonstration, but in the meantime, you can put any questions you may have in the chat, and Abby and I will take turns answering them when we can. And like I mentioned before, so the recording, any resource links, next steps, and also a feedback survey will be shared in an email after the event. Okay, so we're going to start with what is Handshake? And we have a poll here. Okay, so our first question. So have you used Handshake before? Just let us know. Hey, great. Everyone's active, answering in the polls. We love that. Okay. Okay, so it looks like the majority of people here haven't used Handshake, but they've heard of it before. Some of you have used Handshake before, and then a few of you, this is your first time hearing about Handshake. Wonderful. Thank you. Okay, so for those that are not familiar with the platform, so Handshake is basically a one-stop shop for all of your career needs and essentials. So you can explore career resources, apply for opportunities, attend career events, and meet with a career coach and more, just all through your Handshake account. So thousands of employers hold Handshake accounts and post opportunities every day. So with Handshake, you can explore well-known names in public health, but you can also discover other organizations that you may not be as familiar with. And this is across the nation, right? So in any state, you can explore different organizations. Here is a list of the top employers that CUNY SPH users, so students and alumni, have engaged with since we launched Handshake last summer. And these are, again, these are all organizations that are active on Handshake. So I did want to mention how exactly our office uses Handshake. So Handshake is not only a great tool to explore thousands of job opportunities and employers, but it's also the best way to stay engaged with the Office of Career Services. We understand the priority of supporting our students and alumni with discovering their career paths in public health. So we do want to make sure that you have all the tools required to stay connected with us. So since we launched last summer, we've seen a tremendous growth in user engagement, but we still have a ways to go. So increased engagement with students and alumni supports our office so we can tailor the platform more to the needs of you all, right? So when you're using Handshake, the more you use it, the more we can gather information about what we need to do in order to make sure the Handshake is the most useful for you. Okay, so we use the platform for a variety of reasons. We hold advising appointments through Handshake, so whether that's with a career coach or if you need to enroll in fieldwork. Event registrations and promotion are all done through Handshake as well. Of course, career resources, and we send out targeted emails for select job openings and career events. So all Handshake emails are sent to the email associated with your Handshake account. So if you are on Handshake and you're not getting those emails, just make sure that you're checking your spam or junk folders. And we're also going to review notification preferences later on in this event. So one very important email to look out for is the weekly career services newsletter. So I'm just going to pull that up. So in case you haven't received this, or maybe you're new to the platform, if you're an incoming student, this is what the email will look like. Okay, so this is an email that is sent out, let me scroll to the top, every week, typically on Wednesdays. So you can link through to organizations that are on the Handshake profile. We also spotlight certain opportunities, so jobs, fellowships, and internships. Then we list upcoming career events here as well. So we do have a link for community events, so events that are held outside of CUNY SPH. But then we also have a link here for all SPH career events. So if I just click on that. Oh, it worked. Okay. So that link leads right to our SPH calendar. Okay, so this is where you can see a full list of not only career events, but all events, but just for this purpose, you can see a list of all events that our office is putting on. So if you're already on the platform, you can absolutely start to register for those events. If you're waiting for Handshake access, then you can just make a mental note or hold the date in your calendar for the events that are coming up. Okay, and again, here is another list of a few upcoming career services events. So most notably, we do have a discovery series coming up next week. Next week, we have 2 sessions on Monday and Tuesday for the HRTP program. So this is a great program for current students, unfortunately not for alumni, but for you to register for that event. So it can be a great first start into the public health field. So I definitely recommend registering for that event. And we also have some workshops, our first career skills masterclass coming up as well, and then some other discovery series. Okay, and Abby is going to, if she hasn't done that already, just put the link in the chat for the events so you can have that to look through. Okay, so with that, we are going to head into our live demonstration of a user account. First, we're going to share our next poll here. Okay, and of course, this will not be applicable to students that don't have access yet, but just to get a feel for the room if you have activated your account yet. Okay. Great, thank you. Okay, so it looks like most people have not, so I'm assuming that either means you're a new student. If you're not a new student and you don't know how to access your account, then you can absolutely reach out to Career Services and we will help you with that. But for new students, again, you will receive access to Handshake by the end of the week. Just make sure that you're checking your student email or spam or junk just to make sure that you see the email. For continuing students, if you don't know if you have access to Handshake, Abby is going to put another link in the chat with login instructions. If those instructions are not working for you, then please reach out to Career Services. Okay, I do see a hand raised by Jahanda. If you can just put your question in the chat, then either myself or Abby will answer your question for you. All right, so with that, I'm going to ask Abby to share her screen. Abby, do you need me to stop my share?
Let me see. How does this look on your end?
I do not see it, so I'm going to stop my share and then see if you can. Okay, now I can see it. There we go. Maybe it's just my computer. Thank you. Okay. All right, so before Abby walks through her steps with her user profile, just a few things that we want to mention here. So I want to point out the notification preferences that I mentioned before. Okay, so Abby's going to go over to her notification preferences. It is very important that you check your notifications to make sure you are receiving emails from Handshake. So you can have notifications set up for your email, pop-up Handshake notifications, or even push notifications in the mobile app. So once you have access to your account, or if you already have access, please make sure that you just check this section. Okay, and then also looking at account information. So here's where you can update your personal information. And if you see right here under emails, so you can also add an alternative email address to your account. Where you can receive your emails and notifications there, or you can use that email to access your account as well, okay? So the email that you have on your account right now, it will not change because that's needed for data purposes on our side, but you can add an alternative account if you want to do that. All right, and now I'm going to hand it over to Abby.
Okay, thank you so much, Maya, for that introduction into Handshake. So, there are many benefits to filling out your profile in Handshake, and these include, but are certainly not limited to, personalized job and internship recommendations on the platform based on the information you enter in your profile. Employers are also more likely to reach out to you with job opportunities and event invitations if your profile is complete. And then the Office of Career Services receives numerous opportunities from employers to send out to our SPH community. So when your profile is complete, we have the ability to send you targeted emails based on the information you provide. So for example, if you're interested in epidemiology, we could send you an epidemiologist role right to your email inbox. This could be how you find your next dream role. And so this is the Handshake homepage that you see here. And on the desktop version of Handshake, you can navigate to your profile by clicking your profile photo in the upper right corner of the screen. And so from the drop-down menu, you're going to want to select My Profile. And so a pop-up will show that shows you some of the neat things about filling out your profile as much as you can. It really helps the Handshake algorithm work best for you. This is what my student profile looks like. And again, I am an actual student, so this is the real thing. So to fully complete your profile on Handshake, you'll want to add the following information that we're about to go over. The Looking For section on your profile is designed to help specify what types of opportunities you're seeking. This can include job roles, industries, locations, and other preferences. And so note that depending on your profile visibility in the section that we just went over, you can choose to have your profile privacy settings on private, community. You can restrict that in whatever way you'd like, but this section is not going to show up unless your profile visibility is set to community, which is very important. So for the summary section, it offers you the opportunity to add a personal bio to your profile. To edit this, you can click the pencil icon located to the right of summary, and then type your profile or your bio in the pop-up that appears. And so keep in mind, there's a 300 character limit here, so this should be rather concise. Handshake has recently implemented AI tools, so you can also alter the summary's tone to be more friendly or more formal. It's totally up to you. And just to demonstrate that, because it's a pretty neat feature, we'll go super friendly. Hey there, I'm all about building a super diverse and talented public health crew. With a knack for program management, recruitment, and teaming up with communities, I love creating programs that give students real-world skills and awesome opportunities. That's totally up to your preference, whether you'd like it to be more friendly or more formal, but just wanted to show you guys. So in the skills section, you can add technical skills and soft skills. Both are very important. And the more skills you list, the better your chances are of showing up in an employer search. To add skills, you can, similar to the previous section, click the pencil icon to the right of skills, and then search for your skills in the pop-up that appears. So you can edit the following sections in similar ways to the sections we've already covered. There will either be a plus icon, as in the work section, or a pencil icon to edit existing items that are already there. Now in the work experience section, reflect. Have you had a part-time job, full-time job, internship, research position, fellowship, or even volunteered? If so, employers like to know that you've taken on this responsibility and they value your experiences as they've helped you develop skills. The education section is intended to reflect the school that you're currently affiliated with, along with other schools you may have attended in the past. So as your Handshake account is associated with CUNY SPH, it will likely show up as your primary education, similar to how mine appears here. In the courses section, you can add courses you've taken to your profile to express skills you've developed throughout your academic career. For example, in my undergraduate research methods course, I was a teaching assistant, so I have selected I was a TA or a course reader, and this speaks to employers about my proficiency in research methods as well as engaging with students. So it's always helpful to fill out as much information as you can. The organization section signals your specific interests, affinity groups, and participation and involvement on campus. As you can see, I've been volunteering with the Crisis Text Line since 2020, so it demonstrates some transferable skills to any future employer that might come across my Handshake profile. Adding projects to your profile may also signal some of those transferable skills to employers that come across your profile, and they can include a variety of work such as publications, photos, pitch decks, presentations, websites, and more. Here I've linked a video that I worked on with the Career Skills Academy back in August. The languages section is also super helpful for employers, as many public health related positions list language skills as preferred qualifications. And so as you can see, I have a professional working proficiency of French, so it's listed on my profile here. And also the public labels section, it shows labels that are applied to your student account that are set to the public setting. And the Career Services Center will apply these labels for you. So I was a member of the Career Skills Academy from fall 2023 to spring 2024. And so this is visible on my profile. So to go back up to the top of the profile, as you can see, the first thing employers will view on your profile is your profile photo, location, and any links that you choose to decide, as well as your nifty little banner at the very top. It's important to have a nice professional photo uploaded to your Handshake profile. And to edit this section, Click Edit to the right of the personal details, and here you can change your name, headline, your pronouns, your location, and then add any links. And so I've linked my LinkedIn for easy access to my other sources of networking and professional development. Handshake has also recently implemented some social media-like features, so you'll see a followers and following count. I don't have any yet, but I hope to connect with some of you after today's presentation. To edit your banner, click Edit Banner in the upper right-hand corner of the screen. Handshake has a few preset themes, and they all look super nice when paired with the rest of your professional details. That's a nice one. So now we'll navigate to Handshake's newest feature, the home feed. From your student profile, you can access the home feed by selecting Feed from the upper left-hand corner of your screen. There we go. As mentioned, these are very new features, so if you see a pop-up like this from Handshake, it means that they're always working to enhance the student experience on the platform. So Handshake's home feed is a feature that transforms Handshake from just a job searching tool to more of a networking and a social media platform. It's designed to help launch your career by providing you with relevant content, social interactions, and other assistive features. The more details you enter in your profile, the more relevant your home feed will be to your interests. And so as you scroll down, you can engage with students, employers, and career center content. Handshake users post videos, projects, and job recommendations, and so much more. And so note that the home feed shows content from all Handshake users and not just those affiliated with CUNY SPH. Now you can access a summary of the home feed tab from the home button there. And here you'll find trending content, top jobs for your career interests, popular employers in public health, and then employer, as well as events and employer collections, specifically curated for our students by the Career Center. And so everything that you're seeing here is carefully curated based on the information in your profile, so I can't stress enough the importance of filling out as much as you can. That's all on my end. Back over to you, Maya.
Great, thank you, Abby. Yes, so as Abby mentioned, completing your profile is very, very important for you to start receiving personalized job recommendations. And also, so our office knows, if we get any job postings in, we can look to see what students' interests are or alumni's interests are, and even send you those targeted emails, right? If anything comes across our desk. So it is really important to complete your profile, and you can also upload your cover letter and resume as well. So you have everything there. So employers can look at your profile, or staff and career services can look at your profile too. Okay, so I do want to spend the majority of our remaining time together looking at the job search feature, but just quickly, I also want to review some of the additional key features of your user account. Okay, so first we are going to start with events. Okay, so on Handshake, you can attend career events hosted exclusively by CUNY SPH or our Career Services Office, and you can also attend events hosted by other employers who are connected with our school. Okay, so some of these events do have set qualifications, so you are only able to see the events that you qualify for, okay? So that's really important. So you may not see all of the events on your profile that you see right here on Abby's, and that may be because you don't match those qualifications. Okay, so when you get a chance, you can look at the events that we have here. I also want to make note of when you register for an event or for an advising appointment, you do get pre and post emails. Those are all sent through Handshake with instructions. So again, that's why it's important to have your emails turned on. Okay, so now we'll look at the people feature. So Handshake has always had the capability for their users to connect with other users. Okay, but now it's set up in its own section. So you can use this feature to connect with other CUNY SPH students and alumni and see what they're up to. It's kind of like looking at their LinkedIn profile, so looking at where they work or where they're currently working, their own interest. You can even connect with users from other schools, right, all across the country. So, you can connect with someone in Texas or North Carolina, or, if you have friends at other schools, in schools of public health who probably use Handshake, you can connect with them here and follow them. So following users with your similar interest, that also expands your network and it helps with your algorithm, right? So you can, again, get those personalized recommendations and resources and strategies on your home feed. Okay, so now we're going to look at the Career Center. So the Career Center is basically the main landing page for CUNY SPH Office of Career Services. So here you're going to find school details like the public staff list, which is, if you scroll down, you'll see the public staff list of all who work here. Okay, you can also schedule advising appointments, and that's at the top of the Career Center homepage. So this is where you would schedule advising appointments. We can quickly look at that, Abby, if you want to click on it. Okay, so here's where you would schedule new appointments. So whether it's career coaching or with fieldwork, you would go to this portion of your account to do so. Again, you only see the appointments that you are qualified to schedule an advising appointment for, or you only see the categories that you're qualified for. Okay, so this is what it would look like. Again, you're picking a slot. You do get a pre-appointment email as well as a post-appointment email once you finish your appointment. Okay, so once that happens, you'll get all of those instructions in an email, and you can also come back to your appointment here to see any comments that may have been left by your advisor. Okay, thank you, Abby. Okay, I did see a question in the chat. So yes, this recording will be made available after the event. Okay, so you can also review resources that we post. You can click on that too. We have some time. Okay, so this is our resource library. So here you will find event recordings or different resources that our office puts up. So those recordings may include discovery series, right? So we would put the recordings in this resource library, links to different articles as well. Maybe if we have different events going on and they are recorded, we would put that in the resource library. So there's different categories that you can choose from, okay, depending on what you're looking for. But again, just, another useful tool for you to use with your Handshake account. Okay, and if we go back to the Career Center, really quickly, so we also have a section for surveys here. So let's say our office is requiring you to complete a survey, you will see that survey here, okay? So if Abby did have any surveys to complete, it would have the survey name and it would say required. So that's when you're invited to take a survey, it would be in this section. Okay, if we go back to the Career Center, from this page, you can also see events hosted by CUNY SPH, again, just like from the home page. So these are the upcoming events that are happening where you can register for the events. And you can also see the employer collections. Okay, so these employer collections are groups of employers and jobs handpicked and curated by your Career Center, right, by the career services staff. So as an example here, we have opportunities curated by your Career Center. We have a collection that's actually titled that. So this has been put together for students and alumni. So here you can see jobs and employers that we feel would be most impactful for your career growth, or maybe jobs that we feel are most relevant to what our students and alumni are looking for. Okay, so any employers, their jobs would be in this collection. So we are going to continue to put together collections in the upcoming months, so just stay tuned for that. All right, so now we are going to get into the job search. Okay, so if we go to jobs here, so there are multiple ways to actually find details on a job opportunity in Handshake, but we're just going to begin from this part of your account. So we're going to do an example of a job, but first, just from this page, when you are searching, you can decide on the location, the work mode, the job type, or even the title of the opportunity that you're looking for, right? So you can filter your job search in many different ways. So let's just go through an example. So let's say I wanted to find a data analysis job. So I would type in the search data analysis. And these numbers may have changed since the last time we went through this, Abby. So we'll see, we'll see what happens. Oh, it's the same. Okay. So we have 677 jobs found, right? Throughout Handshake that are approved by our office, okay, because jobs do need to be approved by us before they can be posted to you all. All right, so that's a lot to look through. Okay, so let's say we want to narrow the search a bit, and our location, we want to make the location Washington, D.C., and maybe within a 30-mile radius. Perfect. Okay, so now we have 118. So this is actually 4 more since the last time that we did this. All right, so let's narrow it down just a little bit more. So let's say I want to look for a hybrid or remote opportunity. So I would check off hybrid and remote. Okay, so now we have 55. So that's a little bit better. All right, so let's scroll down here and see what we have. Okay. Okay, so let's look at the KFF, Kaiser Foundation. Okay, so here's what a job posting would look like. All right, so you want to review the job description carefully. So all details are here. Okay, some of the qualifications they may have. So if you scroll down and you look at the full description, yep, just look at that. Yeah, so you want to read all of the details. So it tells you what you're going to be doing, what to expect, the desired skills and experience. So it is a job posting, right? But what else you can add with Handshake jobs, you can also add qualifications. So if you scroll down to what they're looking for, okay? So when employers post jobs, they can check off actual qualifications. You may not meet all of them. You should meet at baseline, right? The most basic qualifications, okay? But don't let that deter you from applying for a job, right? And that's the advice that we give outside of Handshake. When you're looking for a position, really think about, how you would qualify for this position. Just put your best foot forward and yeah, and send in your materials. Okay, so you also need to make sure that you are following the directions that are given on the job posting as well. If you continue to scroll down, okay, Handshake also gives you similar job recommendations, right, based on this job. Okay. And if you scroll down after this, sorry, Abby, I have you all over the place. Okay. You can also see alumni or students in similar roles, right, that might have some experience with data analysis. So again, that's where the connecting and following with people with similar interests really comes in handy. So let's say I wanted to apply to this job maybe later. You can click on save, okay, to save the job and come back later. But let's say you're ready to apply for the position now. So if we were to click on apply externally, um, so some jobs, they do direct you to an external source, okay? And then others will have you apply in Handshake. So in this case, you would apply externally. And again, you're just following the directions that they're giving you and uploading your materials on the site. Okay, so let's say we were to go back into the Handshake posting. Okay, and scroll up. Keep scrolling. I want to see if it, okay, here we go. So here, once you get out of the job, once you click apply, basically, if you come back into the posting, it's going to ask you if you applied to the job or not. And that's just to make sure that it's keeping track of where you are applying, again, what jobs you're applying to work with your algorithm, right? So it can recommend similar jobs to you. Okay, so you do want to click yes or no. It also gives our office an idea of who is applying to what job. So if we want to follow up with you to ask you how it's going, we can do that as well. Okay, so just make sure you are indicating if you actually applied for the job or not. Okay, so you can repeat this type of search for, again, specific job roles, internships, fellowships, right? So that's how you would use this job search feature. Thank you, Abby. So we're also going to look at discovering employers. Okay, so let's say we go to the employer section. Okay, so maybe you're interested in looking for employers in a certain field within public health or a certain industry within public health. You can do so here, and you can also follow that employer's page to make sure you're staying up to date on any job announcements that they may have in the future. Okay, so as you can see, there's close to 950,000 employers on Handshake. We are in no way connected to all of these employers, but it's just giving you the option to search through all of the employers that are on Handshake right now. We also know that some employers are more active than others on Handshake, or maybe employers may not post all of their available opportunities here. That does happen, especially with federal agencies. So we recommend that if you find an employer that you are interested in, that you dig a little bit deeper when navigating their profile to go to their employer's page, their career page, and search for jobs. So an example of that would be the CDC. Thanks, Abby. So if you are familiar with the CDC, and yep, the first one. If you're familiar with the CDC, then you know how much recruiting they do throughout the year, and they can't possibly post all of those opportunities on Handshake. So when you are reviewing an employer profile, okay, maybe you don't see all of the jobs here, or maybe you see no jobs, we definitely recommend that you go to their website, and employers link their websites on their career profiles, their employer profiles, and navigate to the actual career page, right, to see what they have available in terms of opportunities and recruitment. Okay, and you can also use their website to gather more information even before you're applying for a job. So again, this is just another way to use the Handshake tool to connect with different employers. Okay, great. Thanks, Abby. So we're also going to look more closely at an employer profile. And for this example, we're going to use the CUNY SPH profile. So we do recommend, in addition to any of the other employers that you're interested in, absolutely follow our profile so you stay up to date on on-campus jobs as well, okay? All right, so we have all of these jobs here that are posted by CUNY SPH. Okay, so let's look at all active jobs. So we're going to click on View All. Okay, so the newest jobs are listed at the bottom. That's just the order that the jobs are listed in. So let's see here. The most recent job we have is a social media assistant, so we can click on that. Okay, great. So again, we have the job pop up with all of the details. As I mentioned before, you can either save the job for later or continue to look at the rest of the job description. So as always, we are reading the description carefully to make sure we qualify, and we're going to be submitting all the materials we need to. Okay, so this job does not have an external application process. So let's say I looked at everything and I'm ready to apply. So we're going to click on apply. Okay, so here we have a pop-up window that comes up. It's letting you know that this is what you're applying for. It's here is also going to tell you what materials to upload. So right now it's saying attach your resume. So Abby already has a resume uploaded to her Handshake. So it's simple, 1, 2, 3. All she has to do is upload the document. Okay, it might ask you for a cover letter, or there might be additional instructions, right, that tell you what else that you need to upload to apply for the job. Okay, so this is how it would look if you were applying straight on the Handshake platform versus if you were applying externally. So again, definitely follow the CUNY SPH page once you get into your Handshake account so you can be kept up to date with on-campus employment. And also, check our Handshake page often for any employment opportunities. For those that are enrolling in fieldwork, we do post those projects on the CUNY SPH Handshake profile as well. Okay. So now we are going to wrap up with next steps in Q&A. So we're going to go back to the slide deck. Abby, I can share my screen if you want me to do that.
I got it.
Okay. While she's doing that, I'm just going to look at the chat. Okay, yes, just to reiterate what Abby said in the chat, the benefit of applying through Handshake. So it really depends on what the employer is looking for. Some employers keep track of their materials straight through Handshake. So that's the only way you're going to be notified and the only way you can apply for the job. Other employers direct you to an external link. For fieldwork specifically, when you are eligible to enroll, we have students upload their materials to Handshake, and then we send those materials to preceptors, project preceptors. And some of you might not know what I'm talking about at all, and that's totally fine. You don't need to worry about it until you start planning for fieldwork. But that's one of the reasons why it is a benefit to have everything set up in Handshake and apply through there. Okay, so now we're going to continue with our presentation here. Oh, we have another poll. Just pull that up. And this is our last poll. Okay, so for those of you that are on Handshake, right, you have access to Handshake, is your profile complete? Ooh, so we have a lot of no's. So that should absolutely be the first step for once we get off this presentation today. Okay. And having a complete profile, just to clarify, right? So we absolutely want you to have everything filled out, all the details necessary, but to have a complete profile, what Handshake determines as a complete profile. So it's having at least one work experience on your profile, one organization, and one skill, right? So that's where you start. That's the minimum. And then you can add on to that. So adding a headshot, adding all of your work experience, projects, process, right? So all of what Abby went through, how she showed you her profile and how complete it was. So that's where we eventually want students to get, and alumni, especially when we start holding our career fair through Handshake. Okay, so it's really important that you have all of that information there. Okay, so now we're going to talk about next steps. Right, great. All right, so after we conclude today's event, okay, you're going to get an email, of course, but here are some next steps, okay? For those that can do it today, you can activate your Handshake account. Once new students receive the email from Handshake, you can go ahead and activate your Handshake account. You want to complete your profile, update your notification preferences, and make sure you are getting emails. Follow your favorite employers, including CUNY SPH. Register for any upcoming career events. Okay, so you can see the events through the Handshake account, or you can go through the calendar invite or calendar that Abby dropped in the chat earlier on, and we'll also provide that after the event. Okay, and we also have, Handshake has a mobile app that you can download as well, and you can have access to the same features and just explore Handshake a little bit more. Okay, so with that, here is the QR code for the mobile app, and we will get into Q&A. We're going to stop the recording, get into Q&A. But before we do that, Abby is going to drop a link in the chat for you all, and this is just a feedback survey that you can complete very quickly. Again, if you're already on Handshake, you can complete this survey now. It will also be in the post-event email, and then once you have access to Handshake for new students, you can complete the survey. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and stop recording, and for anyone who has questions, we can go ahead and do that.